Greetings. I thought I would share with you a very valuable lesson that I recently had this week. I was hanging out with a few friends and having a chat, and I shared how I have a little patience for people who, say one thing in one environment and then do the complete opposite in another environment. So essentially when people are not in alignment. And the example that I use is like, someone could be like, oh, love, peace, everybody, yes, come together in one space. And then they go to the restaurant and they're just a complete rude jerk to the servers. And I was sharing how, I have the world of compassion and patience for people who, just if they're always a jerk, then they're always a jerk and they just don't know, whatever. But when you know, and then you implement something different. So this was my perspective at the time. I'm sharing this as well because I feel like I've learned my lesson, and it's a very powerful lesson that I think, especially right now, we can all maybe fuel from. So a friend of mine was, responded and sharing her perspective in a really loving, kind and gracious way, but essentially said, I have been that person where, I know and I get it and I'm connected and all these things, but then in another time and place, we just fall into this humanness. And, she was talking about how you got to have a level of compassion for people and that humanness. And she talked and she said whatever she said, and she wasn't sharing to make a point against me. She was just sharing her perspective. But in listening to her, my heart just like I don't know how to describe it. It's like I melted, because I thought to myself, I looked at her and I saw her for who she was and was like, yeah, of course that happens. And all of a sudden, everybody became her. And this all started with the conversation of what areas of your life do you have faith and what areas do you not have faith? And I was saying I have faith in the divine, but my faith in people is a little bit shaky. Instantly, this flow of lesson flew in of how can you have faith in the divine that goes up in connection, but then you just don't see the divine in people? If the divine is in all, then we have to have respect and compassion and love for all. I just feel like this is such a huge lesson that I needed to get to just ease up a little bit, because I feel like I have really high expectations of myself and of other people at times, and that results with letting myself down or being let down by other people. And this pattern has to get out, it has to go, because it just can't live here anymore, because it is a pattern. And the truth is, we are all learning. We're all trying to figure this thing out. As much as people want to pretend that they know more or they know something, nobody knows. We have clues and we have knowledge and wisdom and pieces of the puzzle that can go together, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I think when nobody knows, it's kind of scary. You trying to find somebody who knows. And right now we have COVID and all these changes and all these things happening in the world, and we want somebody to know. We want somebody to create some kind of certainty. But certainty is a human thing. Faith is when you move through something that you've never experienced before. And there's just a level of trust that it's going to be okay. And that's hard. That's hard to implement. And it's hard to find that within yourself, to have that level of trust in yourself and trust in the divine, but then trust in humans and trust in humanness. So I don't know. I just felt every once in a while I get these lessons where it makes me sit back and kind of like a slap in the face, and in the most loving of ways. So I thought I would share it with you, because everybody has a different perspective and opinion and way of doing things right now. And if we could just hit up a level of compassion with each other and with ourselves, that we're really walking on grounds that have never been walked on before. And the more we can support each other and encourage each other through that, I think the farther that we'll get. So much love to you, and the life lessons.